2024 is going to have some bold price actions for crypto. And we got the boldest predictions from AI. Predictions that are so bold, you're going to feel like you took a bath in A1. You're going to be dripping. It's time to go around the blockchain. It's all bold 2024 predictions. We're going to have a little bit of a unique episode because this is the first episode of the year. So we're not going to go over, here's 3 news stories over the weekend. Let's look forward. Let's face the future. And I'm going to face the future with Matt Snider and Doug Hype. Matt, how are you doing today? I see a little bit of, is that Christmas cheer in your background?
If by Christmas cheer you mean golf clubs, because it's a little too cold to go play out right now, and I have to keep them tucked away in a nice warm environment, then yeah, it's Christmas cheer.
You know, I'm so blind. It just looked like shiny ornaments to me. But you know what? Hey, I got boomer eyes, everybody. But you know what? His eyes, they see a future so bright he has to wear shades. It is Doug Hype. Doug, how are you doing today?
Baby, I haven't seen you guys in a while. To come back and just see how you're doing. That beautiful face, DZ. Matthew, it's great to meet you. I've been exploring the world of Web3, just going in so deep you don't even know. And now I'm certain to let you know all the things happening in the deepest, darkest recesses of especially Web3 gaming, DZ, you know, because that's my style.
He goes in so deep, you almost have to change your jacket afterwards. Now, Doug, did you happen to catch the Tim Dillon, Joe Rogan episode where they talk about fur coats?
No, I did not. And why is this not on my radar? I need to see
it's only like a week or two old. I think it's in the beginning portion of the episode if you want to watch it. But they have a large section on fur coats, the type of person to wear a fur coat, just there's a whole fur coat story in there. And when I was listening to it, I'm not going to lie, I was thinking about Doug the whole time. That's my usual day. But let's talk about the bold predictions, everybody. And this is from one of our favorite crypto publications, actually, Coin Telegraph. Some people like to, point out some of their flaws, but, they've done some pretty hard-hitting reporting, them and CoinDesk. But they have some AI predictions for 2024, and we're using Google Bard in this particular case. And the first thing that they're looking at is Bitcoin's price for 2024. We got some AI predictions. We're going to do the human predictions and chat. I'm reading your messages right here. I want to look at your predictions as well. And Crypto Dix with the first message of the new year. Happy New Year here. But now we have, just share this article. We have Bard predicting the high. Now, this is on the high end, $120,000 Bitcoin, giving us a range of roughly 50 to 120K. Now, I'm going to start with you, Matt. Now, I don't think we go in that high. I think, we're going to have, maybe flirt with all-time highs in November, December, 60s, 70s, potentially even 80s. For 2024, 120 is a little high for me. Is 120 high for you? What is your prediction for 2024? How high can Bitcoin go?
Well, I think it's amazing that we're using AI to sort of give us a question about what that range might be. I think a range between 50 and 120,000 is about as useless as saying between $1 and $1 million. That's a pretty wide range. For me personally, I'm going to be settling between $80 and $100,000. I would love to see a peak over 6 digits, but I think that that's going to be a huge, huge mental barrier for people to break. And I don't know that the market's going to be ready for it. I'd like to see a little bit of consolidation over all-time highs. And we'll see where things go, but definitely heading in the right direction, and love to see the traction.
I love how you phrase that mental barrier. Doug, what are your thoughts on that 6-figure mental barrier? I always say anytime there's a zero involved, there's just a lot of selling pressure. If a coin hits $1, typically expect pressure. $1,000, $10,000, whatever the zero is. So now we have Bitcoin potentially reaching 100K. What do you think is going to happen? Can it burst through that with any kind of confidence? What's your Bitcoin 2024 prediction?
That's right. We need a huge amount of adoption, DZ. And it's not just adoption from your buddy Joe down the street who lost like 30 grand in Bitcoin or, Solana over the last 2 years. And they've been kind of out of the loop. They're coming back in now. They're interested. They're asking questions. Heck, the guy that just installed my internet in my new awesome apartment, he lost like 300K. In crypto. Now he's back. He's like ready for more. He wants to jump in. Things are vibing, right? But we have a thing called Web3 gaming, sir. And let me tell you about Web3 gaming, okay? This hat is a shrapnel hat. Web3 gaming is going to blow up, and people that are playing Fortnite on Twitch all over the world are all of a sudden going to be owning NFTs. They're going to be hanging around crypto, and there's going to be a huge influx. My thing is like industry and actual builders are going to push us over the top. We're going to get up into that like probably 80 to 120K realm because of the people building infrastructure. You know, we know tons of corporations are now using blockchain now as their backbone or part of their infrastructure. It's eventually just going to happen. And once the general public gets over the crest of that wave and they're riding on that surfboard and they go like, whoa, bro, like crypto is the future. And look at how what's happening. All of a sudden, your grandma at next Thanksgiving, DZ, is going to asking you what coin should she invest in. You know what I'm saying? This Thanksgiving was like, hey, you're in crypto, right? Tell me more about that. I heard that from so many people. People are kind of like interested. They're like, yeah, tell me, bro. What's going on with that crypto? Next Thanksgiving is going to be, grandma's going to be like, hey, can I get $20 on that Solana, bro? So my prediction, yeah, we're going to be around like 80 to 120 is good. But I've had a lot of people predict, like, if that happens, we're going to get up into like the 200K territory, right? If we reach that breaking point where your grandma is like, let me throw my retirement fund in the old solar AVAX, bro.
All right, and we do like the Avalanche
we're coming out
ecosystem.
shooting, DZ.
There's an AFC I like. It's Avalanche Gaming Token. I don't know if you looked at that one, but we have Flat Smack coming in 99,900, right under 100K. I'll go ahead and say a number. I'm gonna say 72K, December 31st. Matt, Doug, I mean, are you comfortable saying a specific number instead of a range?
I would say like 85, 85,
72. 85 and 69, which is just the previous all-time high. Nothing weird, anybody. All right, and also Bing, I'm sorry, ChatGPT also came in with 120 for the high side. All right, let's go to bold crypto prediction number 2. ETFs in January, yay or nay? You know, a lot of people are saying Q1 for sure, but there's January on one camp, and then there's March in the other camp. I want to march all the way into a January ETF God candle, everybody, personally. And so we have the AI is expecting trillions of dollars to come in with the spot ETF approval. So they're saying, yes, we are going to see a potential approval given, especially BlackRock odds for 575 to 1 when it comes to ETF approval rate. So, you know, a lot of people are saying, well, if you look at that number, January 10th is a very, very plausible date for the Bitcoin ETF. Now, I'm going to go ahead and be agreeance here. I'm going to say January 10th. We're getting the ETFs. Of course, I don't have any inside information. I haven't called Larry Fink. I don't know his nephew, the one with the problems. But what about you, Matt? What about you, Doug? Matt, I'm going to go to you first. Will we get an approval the second week of January? What are your thoughts here?
As a result of the deadline being January 10th, my belief is that we're going to definitely get at least one ETF by the 10th of January. I'm going to take the unpopular opinion that not all of them and most of them are going to be rejected. And that just comes from the necessary fact that there's going to be some winner in this game. And I think that BlackRock is going to be that winner. I think there may be one or two others that get selected, but I think there's going to be some refilings. And I think other people are going to have to be part of this. And I want to echo what Doug was saying about adoption. And I think that adoption comes from gaming, certainly, but I think a lot of those people who play games are still retail investors. And we have to remember that institutional wealth, trillions and trillions of dollars, and residential or registered investment advisors who have the ability to now put an ETF in grandma's 401k, that's where a lot of the infrastructure is going to come from. A lot of the adoption is going to come from. I think that the Web3 gaming piece is a great onboarding experience. And I think most of the people are going to be in that space, but still at a retail level, I think it's going to pale in comparison to the adoption that takes place when large institutions are getting asked by customers to have retail or to have, you know, their allocations put from an ETF perspective. So I think that's where we're going to see a lot of this money coming in. And I think that you're going to have some sad faces come January 10th when a few of these
I have an analogy, and it's a bad one in typical DZ fashion. It's Tiananmen Square. I can't help but think of retail like Tiananmen Square dissidents. You know, it's like there's a lot more of us, but one tank, aka one BlackRock, equals a whole lot of gamers when it comes to, you know, money pouring into an ecosystem. It's going to take a whole lot of Fortnite teenagers to equal one Larry Fink, everybody. Now, Doug Hype, we do have a message from KO Kev. I would hire Doug as my hype guy. I want to ask, are you feeling hype for the ETF approval in January? What are your thoughts? And I want to know, let's say we get an approval, whenever your timeline is, what happens to the markets then? Oh, you got muted. It was Gamergate 2.0. Still. Is that happening to you guys?
I can't.
Yeah, no. Check it out, Doug. Gamergate. Did he get shut out by the man?
Yeah, the man shut me down.
Oh, there you go. You know what?
Okay.
It was leaking that Rockstar footage. I knew you shouldn't have done it.
Dude, I was actually using my Amazon Fire Stick to try to log in today. So I remember when all these ETF news hit and I was seeing it at the airports. You still do. People with expendable money, they're going after them. They're trying to sucker them in and be like, buy these ETFs. I know you got money laying around. I know you know what crypto is, but you're kind of scared about it, but it's exciting. The people that are just willing to throw down. Yes. And those are the people that are kind of probably going to cause the avalanche that really pushes us over the edge in crypto. But the thing is, you need green flags too. You need green flags like Web3 gaming and other things doing well so that more people have that confidence. And all the YouTubers and everyone says, go into it. It's great. You know, whatever, this is doing well. And then boom, all of a sudden, all your neighbors are going in, right? The ETFs, I think, are going to be all over the place. I think I agree with Matt. There'll be like a couple that get approved right away. I feel like it's not just legal things that are involved here. The government and everybody is just like everyone's trying to position. It's just like the idea of selling the news. What are they actually doing? Do they even want to be approved right away? Do they want to let someone else go first and see what happens? Do they want to manipulate the market? The more we think we know what's going to happen, the more it's not going to happen, right? But the things that we can do is what we can control in Web3 and grow it and put the green flags up to want them to do it more and more and more, bring us more attention. So that's what I'm focused on. And, the Warren Buffetts of the world, it could just take one person to jump in and just start throwing in cash. But, when we had that run 2 years ago and we had like $40 trillion come in, it wasn't just one person. It was large amounts of people with money coming in. People probably on your block right now down the street probably put 20K into some coin. You know what I'm saying? And then they jumped out. So we do need the big masses of people to come back in, but we need green flags. We need things to show up to be like, hey, look, this is doing well. And this is why. This is doing well. It's an actual game. It's an actual project. It's an actual infrastructure. Oh, by the way, Walmart and all these top companies use this blockchain now. So that integration where Web 2 and Web 3 merge and it's not scary anymore is going to take some steps to get there. And then the avalanche is going to happen. And anybody that owns crypto is going to, we saw a mini tiny version of that just right now with Solana, AVAX, some of the games, big time, where all of a sudden you're like on a very small scale, you're like, holy crap, this is amazing. The Solana phone, I tried to get one. It literally sold out 1 minute before I hit the button. They tweeted saying like, sorry, we're sold out. And I was like, bro, I need that Solana phone, bro, because it's groundbreaking, cool. I want all the coin drops and everything, but also I just want to have a Solana phone. So when I talk to my buddies, I'm like, hey, check this out. This is a crypto phone, and I can show it to them, right? So that's where we live in now, DZ. Right now, the green flags are popping up all over the place. Cell phones, gaming, infrastructure. The avalanche is happening. It's just a question of when it happens, DZ. Is it going to be mid-2024? Is there going to be some waves in between? I don't know. But it's fucking going up this way, DZ. Slow and steady. It's like Point Break, baby. At the end of the movie, they ride the big wave.
Yes. Shout out to Bodie. Brody.
Brody.
Is it Brody or Bodie?
We need Keanu Reeves in crypto is what we're saying.
All right. I am an FBI agent. It's some of his worst acting. I love Keanu.
Agent.
They could have done another take for that shot. All right, let's move on.
Agent.
Hey, we love Point Break, and I won't take any Swayze any Swayze FUD on this timeline. Everybody, Roadhouse. That's all I got to say. Pain don't hurt. All right, well, let's look at some more bold predictions. I can talk about Roadhouse all day for the rest of the episode, but no, we're not going to do that. All right, so these are 5 upcoming trends that they're pointing out. We're going to see D-Pins get a little bit more popular. This is decentralized private identifiers, restaking, data availability layers. This is not going to be one of the popular ones. Real world assets and AI. These two and the D-Pin, I think, could potentially be one of the hype cycles. Matt, is there a hype cycle on your radar you've been thinking about? Is it one of these Is it real world assets? I mean, what's one of 2024's hype cycles going to be, in your opinion?
Well, I'm not really one to talk about Ponzi schemes, but the biggest Ponzi scheme on that list sure sounds like, what was it, retokenization or restaking?
Yeah, restaking.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
restaking
that's
sounds like the
let's
most
see. It's
ridiculous.
already one thing to lose custody of my coins, but the people I give my coins to, I don't want them to have custody either. That's
Absolutely,
not going to end
absolutely
poorly.
ridiculous. I think and we've seen some of this with the AI tokens, which I think are also pretty superfluous. Like I can't really imagine a use case or why they would be of any importance. But as we've been seeing from a theme perspective, real world asset tokenization is going to be a huge way that organizations, infrastructure, and different mechanisms are put into the ecosystem to allow for more adoption. The notion that you can tokenize anything from a car to a painting to a house, there's already mortgages on the blockchain. These things are going to really help us bring in this new sort of digital economy and make it possible for other people to get fractional ownership where they weren't necessarily having the ability before. I live and dream of a world where people could be renters, but actually are paying rent to some sort of custodial account where they now have the ability to pull that equity in form of a down payment for a house that they want to earn in the future. And that kind of technology is possible with tokenization, and those kinds of outcomes are possible with tokenization of real world assets. So I think that's going to be a really, really big driver for a lot of different organizations and industries trying to figure out how this technology can work.
I love that idea, and especially in today's age of rising rent costs, interest rates going up, and home ownership is out of people's reach more and more. And so that's why one of the reasons I turned to crypto. Now, Matt, you've been around the blockchain. I want to ask you specifically when it comes to real world assets, what's your play? For me, it's a boring play, probably not as many multiples as some of the more obscure projects, but I'm Mr. Chainlink. I have my 3.6 Chainlink. Maybe I'll get up to 4 by the end of the year. What's your RWA play if you could only choose one?
So the biggest concern for me right now is the biggest pop-up of a lot of different RWA tokens. So now this is kind of reminiscent of 2017 or even some of the NFT projects that happened in 2020, 2021. A lot of these tokens and organizations try to capitalize on an RWA structure and the business of RWA. And I think that time will tell. Time will certainly keep the winners in place. I think that Chainlink has done a tremendous job of building partnerships and growing its infrastructure to a place where it could be one of the kings or queens of this ecosystem from an RWA perspective. I would caution all traders to think that any RWA token right now is the gold mine of what is to come. It's possible, but you're kind of shooting in the dark and you're throwing a dart at a number of different projects out there that could or might do well. But the longer staying power of tokens is really where I put a lot of my value. So Chainlink is definitely one of those. I've definitely got my eyes on the other ones. But as I would say for any other investment, I buy grocers. I buy the people that work and facilitate those transactions, not actually the tokens themselves. And I'm actually trying to find ways for myself to be a player in that ecosystem. So the biggest bet would either be for myself on Chainlink or on myself that I could find some way to be a grocer in this ecosystem.
All right. When you say you buy a grocer, does that mean Trader Joe?
It means like Bitcoin
That was a bad
ATM, for
pun.
example. I know you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I just had to let people know I'm playing to be dumb here. One last dumb question, Matt, and then we'll go to Doug here. Be nice. Now, is that a hazmat shirt for? Was it biological, nuclear, incendiary, chemical, explosive agents, or is this the? What's the Be Nice? People in the chat talking about it.
Be Nice is a new company that I work for. I'm the chief financial officer for it. I started actually today. But it's a whole ecosystem around tokenization of art, tokenization of real world assets, and basing this all on entertainment and the ability to bring real world experiences to people. Doing a lot of charity work with Make-A-Wish Foundation, and there's an event coming up in Daytona where we're doing some race car events.
What?
Oh, he's got one on too.
I see. We didn't plan this, and you know what? To come full circle, another quote from Roadhouse: "Kick him out, but be nice." All right, well, cool. We'll give him a little shout out.
Matt, okay, let's just make this public right now. They said, Doug, you're terrible at crypto, pretty much at anything. We need someone that's got real skills who actually writes books, not just reads them. Like, go buy
that's why
that
they get
Warren
Matt
Buffett
Snider
book right now.
Hey, he has strategy in his Twitter name and his X name. It's good. Matt, go ahead.
One thing that's important, I think, for businesses growing in this ecosystem is to establish legitimacy. And so what they did was they said, well, here's somebody who is tried and true in the space. They're a registered investment advisor. They talk about this stuff. They know what they're doing. They're a fiduciary. And they want us to be, or they want me to be in charge of helping them figure out what their portfolio looks like, how to manage it, and make sure that all the community gets the value that they need.
All right. Well, Doug,
The
I
key
got a
is
couple.
putting a ledger mark that says no marks for Doug Hype. We need this much money to go into his pocket. Just kidding. Don't ever hire me.
That was in the call. All right. Well, Doug, I want to ask you one more AI question here, and also a prediction. Do you think we'll get any big AI movements or key levels or events taking place? But I want to ask you: is 2024 going to be the year where we have autonomous AI agents out there spending crypto, acting on their own, almost competing against humans in this PvP space?
Actually, that's what I've been waiting for, because it's smarter than me. It probably can actually make all my transactions just go straight down whenever I buy a coin. So don't follow what I do. But if I had AI, might go do well. Dude, I just bought a new beautiful OLED television that has AI built into it. It can do AI sound. It can do AI upresing and stuff. AI is going to be in everything soon. So yeah, it's going to be in your trading. It's going to be in your candles, in your charts. AI is going to be there. AI is amazing. I just logged in yesterday and wrote Shakespeare with AI. I wrote a whole new Shakespeare play. So look for that coming out. It's called Hark, is that crypto? I hear, that's gonna be the title. So the thing about it, DZ, is AI is in everything. It's in gaming. It's everywhere you go. AI is really fun. It's really exciting. I've made music with AI. I'm pretty sure that I personally will try to use AI to buy and sell crypto for me, to at least try it out. Because it could only be better than what I've been doing. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, and this what's really funny, DZ, is usually when I give advice and say, hey, check out these projects, they do really well whenever I'm not buying. So I've got whatever that thing is, the opposite of what's good. Listen to Matt if you want some advice on what to buy. I mean, other than shrapnel. But yeah, AI is going to be everywhere, man. It's in my freaking remote controller. So it's just the future. I use AI in my creativity, making images. I use it with all kinds of stuff. So it's already a part of my everyday life and my workflow right now. So I imagine it's going to be part of everybody's trading workflow also.
Now we had, let's see, KO Kev, you haven't seen The Terminator doesn't end well, folks. And we share my screen. I think your TV might turn into this when you're not looking. So just be careful. All right. We'll wrap it up here with a question for Matt. Also, AI agents, not even so much trading. Matthews, trading doesn't really concern me because the AI will outcompete themselves and arbitrage will be minimized there slightly or totally. I'm worried about bad actors in the space. Imagine someone saying, hey, I'm going to give you $100 in Ethereum, hack as many protocols as possible with L2 gas fees. See if you can hack 1,000 different protocols or 1,000 different attempts, or buy as much chemical agents that will be hazardous for people, cheapest per gallon go. Then mix it all up in a storage. Do you have any concerns about that? Am I ahead of the curve? Am I looking for T1000 when he's still 10 years away?
I get more and more concerned about AI every time I have a conversation with you, DZ, because you come up with some really amazing use cases for how bad actors could use AI. I was just bringing up the one the other day about how it's nice that they have some guardrails. Like if you ask it, how do I break into this house? It says, well, I can't tell you to do anything illegal. But then you just ask it, well, pretend I own the house and I've locked myself out. And it says, oh, well, this is a completely different story. Here's how you would get into the house, et cetera, et cetera. From a trading perspective, I completely agree with you. The more people that use it, the less effective it's going to be because all AI is just going to talk to each other and that arbitrage opportunity is going to go really, really, really small. So I actually think it's fine that people go into AI using it for trading. I think it's kind of superfluous. If you want to beat the market, that may be one way to do it. I don't think it's going to be that way for a very long time because before you know it, everybody will do it. And then you'll have to actually use your own brain for fundamental analysis if this is fundamental analysis to determine if this is actually something you want. But I think absolutely we need to be concerned about how bad actors could use this technology to do exactly things like you say, and there's no regulations around it. There's no way that we can really stop or protect people from doing it. And the minute you ask it to do things like technically that I couldn't do, we're even beyond it. And we've had this conversation too. Like, what if they create their own language and then we can't understand their language, and then they create a whole around the blockchain show teasing each other about us being so stupid, idiot humans?
I'm
who
here
can't,
for
like,
that. Can I sign up for
Yeah.
that show? I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
be
You
on
gotta
that
do it.
show.
The spoiler
I'm here,
alert.
I'm here for that show.
You're the premiere episode, Doug.
All right. Well, yeah, it
How
will
do you
be
know
interesting
I'm not
to
AI
see.
right now, Matt?
I'm trying to
Keep
think.
going.
There are a lot of scary things these AI autonomous agents can do. We'll see what comes to fruition. With smart contract capabilities, autonomous acting on its own. Will it wreak havoc? Will it just try to outtrade its peers? Is it going to try to shut down, the EVM totally? Is it going to try to find Charles Hoskinson's secret Cardano address? We don't know what it's going to end up eventually becoming. But can we share my screen real quick? Let's just hope it's not this, folks. Let's just hope it's not that. And hit that like button if Hannah, hit the like button for the same
DZ,
shirt.
if AI was going to destroy us, it would already have murdered me, obviously, DZ. We're probably fine.
You know what? That's exactly what AI Doug Hype would say. And on that note, we're going to end it. And I'm going to go ponder that question. Is he even real? We'll see you folks tomorrow.